I would like to pass this message to the 24th administrator that will be sitting on the IMF board on July 5th. The meeting will be taking in consideration whether you will be providing a financial bailout to the Sassou Nguesso regime or not. Before you can decide on whether you will be assisting the same regime, which is the Sassou Nguesso regime, you have to know few things. First, you requested transparency, you requested a good governance, you requested a good country that could be run properly with a good economical system. You requested that Sassou Nguesso clarify every debt that he has, every debt that he have with China or oil trader or different money lender. You requested that Sassou Nguesso conduct certain audit in the society, the national society that is running oil business in Congo-Brazzaville. So in general, you requested a big transparency on every issue related to debt, every issue related to how oil business is being running in Congo-Brazzaville. Not only oil, but the country in general, included every company that is trying to explore some kind of different mineral in Congo-Brazzaville. So you can realize that everything that you requested to the regime, none of this point that you outlined has a result. We do not have any result. We know that in March 29th of this, in April 29th, Sassou Nguesso trying to make a deal with China. After Sassou Nguesso counselor, which is Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who used to be the IMF director, and one of his counselor too, which is called Mathieu Pigas, have written a letter to the Sassou Nguesso regime to warn the Sassou Nguesso regime that the IMF might not provide the financial bailout because the deal that the regime has made with the China was not clearly defined. We know also that there is another deal that was made with different oil traders like Trafigura. That's what the report is saying. With regard to the audit that you requested on the oil industry in Congo, none of this was done. So if you can base the bailout of the regime only on the kind of deal that Sassou Nguesso has made with the China, you can see that there is a problem there. And that's where the people of Congo are stepping in, are saying, no, it should not be like that. The China only detain 1% out of 3 share of that debt that the regime owns. Only 1 part, 1 share of the whole thing. We can say 1/3 of the debt of the Congo own, of the regime Sassou Nguesso own, 1/3 of that. So we can see that there is again 2/3 that belonging to different money lender. So the transparency that you are asking, you will never get it with the same regime, with the Sassou Nguesso regime. You also know that on top of Trafigura, on top of Glencore, there is another trader that is coming, which is called Mercuria. The regime at this moment are trying to make a deal with a third trader that is called Mercuria. So all of your advice was not respected by the Sassou Nguesso regime. So based on that, you cannot bail out financially the same regime. That regime got a chance in 2010. He was financially bailed out, but he did not take on opportunities to improve the microeconomical system in Congo-Brazzaville. The only thing they have done is stealing the money, bringing money to paradise paper, paradise country, money laundering, corruption. There is no transparency at all. So we, the people of Congo, cannot continue with the same regime. To better understand my statement, I would like to play a videos for 2 minutes of...
You're talking about the World Bank driving away to foreign assistance.
And by the way, I'm not sure, it's not a bank. It may have started as a bank, but basically the important work the World Bank does is the same as what the British DFID organization does or the USAID does. It's giving money mostly to other governments to support economic development. And the fact that it gives it to governments is itself a little bit problematic. The way I would summarize the World Bank's experience, but also I think this applies to USAID and others, when you give money to a government that's more or less doing the right things, that money can help it do more of the right things. And so foreign aid, foreign assistance to South Korea, to Taiwan, to China did some wonderful things. When you give it to a government that's not very competent, guess what? It doesn't do very much with it. But the worst part is when you give it to a government that is actively malevolent, that is stealing from its people, like the government of Congo-Brazzaville. That was one of the ones I had the toughest time with. Congo-Brazzaville is a country, it's an oil exporter, but 70% of the population lives on less than $1 a day. They contribute money to politicians in France, but they can't take care of their own people. You give money to Congo-Brazzaville, all you're doing is giving those rulers more power with which to control things. And I would say, and I argued this at the World Bank, and not everyone liked what I was saying, but I think the World Bank and other institutions need to discriminate a little better about who they give money to. And
okay, as you can hear, Mr. Paul Wolfowitz, who used to be the IMF president, has clearly explained that if you would be giving money to the Congo-Brazzaville, it's just giving more powerful, more power, making the regime more powerful. You will be giving money to a regime that will be using that money against their own people. This is the word coming from the mouth of Mr. Paul Wolfowitz during the conference he did in Oxford in England. So you can see, you, the 24th administrator sitting on the IMF board, if you give the money to the Sassou Nguesso regime, you'll be financing the crime in Congo-Brazzaville, you'll be financing the corruption in Congo-Brazzaville, you'll be financing the suffering of the people of Congo. If you give the money to the Sassou Nguesso regime, he will use it to buy his military equipment, his weapon. We know that it's going to become a big business for the weapon industry, but that money will not serve the people in Congo-Brazzaville. That's why 92% of the people in Congo-Brazzaville are saying no to the financial bailing out of the same regime like you did in 2010. Like Mr. Paul Wolfowitz I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing very bad his name. If you bail out Sassou Nguesso, you give Sassou Nguesso money, it will use this money to a corruption way with his friend that are in the system we call French Africa. Again, you can see all of these people in this picture. They are all supporting Sassou Nguesso regime, all the crime, the genocide, money laundering. So the bailout of the IMF will help Sassou Nguesso keep corrupted these people, these French politicians, like say, like Mr. Paul Wolfowitz just said. So you can understand with us, the money is supposed to be used to help the people in Congo-Brazzaville. Sassou Nguesso is expending 8% of the GDP money to buy weapons. I'm going to play a 2-minute videos. You will hear it from one of the ex-Sassou Nguesso financial minister. He is now part of opposition in Congo-Brazzaville. It's called Nzo Mathias. And this guy right now is in Paris. He did this video a few days ago. We will hear what he's going to say here. Just give me a few seconds. I'm gonna just turn this this camera. So we will try to play this and hear what Mr. Nzo Mathias is saying here.
Aujourd'hui, un petit pays comme le nôtre, la manière dont il a été surarmé.
He's saying that a little country like our country is highly armed.
Aujourd'hui, Denis Sassou Nguesso a une armée à lui qu'on appelle la garde républicaine.
He's saying Sassou Nguesso on his own, he has his own army, what is called the Republican Guard.
Toutes les armes les plus sophistiquées sont même cette garde républicaine.
He's saying the most sophisticated arms are within the hand of that Republican Guard.
Denis Sassou Nguesso a des milices partout.
He has militia everywhere.
De milices bien super armées plus que notre armée.
He has militia who have a lot of guns, greatly higher than the normal army in Congo-Brazzaville.
Et tout ça, c'est pourquoi il a énormément de mercenaires.
All of this is for what? He has a lot of mercenaries.
De toutes nationalités dans notre pays.
For all the citizenship of the world in our country.
Ces gens-là, il les a pourquoi? Le Congo n'est pas menacé.
Why he has all of these people in our country? Our country is not being traded.
Si ce n'est pour protéger son propre pouvoir.
It's even only to keep his power.
Et mettre au respect qui que ce soit. Alors, toute violence amènera à une bain de sang dans notre pays.
Alors, every violence will be bringing to bloodshed in our country. So, as you can see, the 24th administrator sitting on IMF board on July 5th, you have a full responsibility. The country of Congo, the people of Congo are saying no to the financial bailing out of the Sassou Nguesso regime. What we would like to do here is to focus on something else. We know that at a certain time, we'll be coming to the IMF with the right people on the right time that will be discussing with the IMF on how you can help us. For now, let's concentrate our energy toward the way that will be kicking out of this power, this regime. How are we going to do that? First, no bailout of the IMF to the same regime that you already helped in 2010. no bailout. Secondly, let's block this regime for touching every transaction that is related to the oil business in Congo, to every business related to the wood, every business related to the mineral in Congo-Brazzaville. For example, if a country wants to buy oil in Congo, because it's buying by using a dollar, which is a referential currency, the United States of America, throughout the Treasury, has to block it, like you did for Venezuela. We don't want the same regime to touch anymore on every transaction related to the Congo money. That's the first thing. Secondly, let's prevent them from traveling. Let's ban them from traveling. Visa restriction does matter if they are the diplomatic, they are part of a diplomatic corps or not. All of them, including Sassou Nguesso himself. And secondly, let's squeeze the relatives that are living outside of the Congo. No more money transfer. That's the only way we will push this regime that has a lot of sophisticated guns in Congo, mercenary in Congo. That's the only way we can push them to a real table of negotiation. A table that will allow them to leave the power to the right people. And the people of Congo will put in place a team that will be preparing for a real and right election in Congo. Election that will be bringing peace, that will be bringing a new team who will have the right to lead peacefully this country and bring the reform that you are asking, the transparency that you are asking, the government that you are asking. The people of Congo are saying if you bail out Sassou Nguesso, is a birthday cake that you are giving to the Sassou Nguesso regime and the Sassou Nguesso family. The people of Congo will not recognize your bailout as the way of helping the people. As you can see, I try to demonstrate in less than 30 minutes with few statements coming from one of the guy, which is called Mathias Nzon, ex-financial ministry of Sassou Nguesso regime. He has explained how Sassou Nguesso is highly armed, how Sassou Nguesso is using ton of money of bringing mercenary, or bringing people to protect power in Congo-Brazzaville. Again, I have shown a section of video of Mr. Paul FAIT, who used to be IMF president too. These people are probably the most people that you know, and they have provided a statement about the Congo-Brazzaville. As you can see, no bailout of the Sassou Nguesso regime. So July 5th, the people of Congo want to say thank you to the 24th IMF administrator that will be sitting to that board, where this 24th administrator will be saying no to the bailout of the Sassou Nguesso regime, and let's concentrate our energy to kick out of power these people so we can bring peace, a democracy in Congo-Brazzaville. Thank you for having time to watch the few minutes I have spent for passing my message to the IMF board.